Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone. Today we have consumed our lecture series for the third year of our third academic year. Last semester we couldn't do much lectures because of the busy schedule that I had to undergo, and given the fact that in weekends I will be, in most cases, in most weeks I will be out of the institute. Therefore, I decided to shift the date onto Friday morning, so I will be able to regularly conduct the classes. The ones who are unable to join live will have the opportunity to watch the lectures which will be uploaded in the YouTube. And if I recap what we have done so far, till now we talked about the Rūpa, corporeality, in detail till the Chittaja Rūpas. We defined what the Rūpas are, and we talked about the four great elements, the nature of four great elements, and how they are existing in a kalapa, cluster of Rūpas, and their contribution to the kalapas as well. Then we talked about some other derived matters such as color, sound and so forth, color, taste, smell and so forth. Then we moved into talk about the causes of, then we defined the Rūpa, how Rūpa has been defined in Theravada within the Theravada tradition. Then we moved on to talk about the causes of Rūpa, mainly the Kamma, Chitta, Utu and Ahara. In that first we finished the Rūpas related to karma, and which are produced by karma according to our tradition, and also went into detailed explanation about each Rūpa that are produced by the karma as well. Then we came into the chapter which is a long chapter about the Chitta Rūpas, and we did some analysis on various aspects of Chitta Rūpas, and then we also discussed giving various approaches, how Chitta Rūpas would arise in sleep, how would a person would act during a dream, while dreaming, and during intoxication, and when someone is being possessed by a demon. So we took various approaches to scrutinize this subject matter, and then now we are in the stage of in the final stages of this Chitta Rūpa lessons. I think I have given you the handout which completes the lectures about Chitta Rūpa. There are 8 pages, including endnotes. There are 11 pages, and this would complete the Chitta Rūpa chapter connected with the previous handout that I had given. And then we can move on to Utuja Rūpas, which will also be an interesting topic to discuss how temperature born matter is explained in our tradition. In this lesson, we are going to talk about Chitta Rūpas arising during deep sleep, non-REM sleep, because we talked mainly about how the mind is committing or doing actions, verbal and physical actions, during while dreaming. We didn't go into talk in detail about the processes that take place while we are asleep. So we are not in a position to analyze what is happening biologically, but to give to shed light upon this subject matter in terms of Theravada. That is our purpose. So it's rather simple, like what is happening while we are asleep, but it can also give us some insights comparing what would happen in a sleep compared to what is going on in our body during a meditative state. So that will be the attention here, and also how would Chitta Rūpas, the body, the state of mind is affected, and the eventual Chitta Rūpas during sleep are affected, the factors that affect them. So those are the things that we are going to discuss today. Chitta Rūpas arising during deep sleep, which is called non-REM sleep, because non-REM sleep there is no eye movements, there is no dreams, during this is called the deep sleep. Chitta Rupa is in deep sleep. As we all know, so from the information we have discussed so far, whilst asleep, normally the mind stream falls back to the Bhavanga stream. Bhavanga, in the Bhavanga level, the life continuum level, consciousness has an object, but it is very obscure. In most of the cases, it is an object taken by the mind close to death in the previous life. And that chitta would keep on arising repeatedly till we die. And that chitta is called Bhavanga chitta. It is given the name, it is coined so because it doesn't let the life to break up, like it maintains the continuation of the life. So in English, it's rendered into English as the life continuum. There are few types of life continuums, few levels of life continuum. We can see in the literature. Even while we are awake, in between two mind processes, there is a buffer of life continuums or bhavangas, because no mind process can happen or occur without the bhavangas vibrating. That's a fundamental aspect or fundamental in Theravada teachings. So bhavanga are frequently arising in us even while we are speaking or listening to someone. In between through two mind processes that captures the objects, there's always a bhavanga going between, bhavanga chittas going through. But in the deep, when we go into sleep, what happens is the bhavanga stream extends, like it lasts for a longer period. Without the viti chittas, it means mind processes happening. So the bhavanga stream will continue uninterrupted. But there are various stages of this. Sometimes the bhavanga stream maybe in a little bit of an active stage. So what happens is while dreaming, we may get some mind processes and happen to start to see various unreal objects like as real, and that we talked about this issue, and those chittas are not capable of producing giving patisandhi as well. And during deep sleep, now when the mind goes into a deeper sleep, not to the dreaming level, when it goes into the deeper sleep, bhavangas will continue uninterrupted, and we call it deep sleep. Even objects that strike at our senses would not be able to wake it up, wake the bhavanga and produce mind processes. In reality, all the time we are connected to a certain object, because at least our body is touching a certain surface wherever we are living. Even we happen to be in the sky for a short moment while we are jumping up, still the air is touching our body. Therefore, the senses are connected to body all the time, but those objects are not always capable of producing or causing chitta vitis to happen. While we are looking at a certain objects through our eyes, at the same time feet are touching the floor or our back is touching a seat. While we are giving attention to the rupas that we are seeing, like the color, we are giving attention to the forms that we see. We are not aware of, and momentarily we are not aware of what is happening, what is contacted with our body sensitivity. Therefore, always there is an object connected to our body, our senses, but that doesn't mean that always chitta vitis has to process. Now, in the bhavanga stream, now when in the deep sleep level, when the bhavanga goes into the deep level, like in order to interrupt this and a process to happen, the intensity of the object should be higher. In order to that is seen in our day-to-day lives. If you want to wake up a person, wake the person up, so we have to give some, like make it a very distinct object to the person, or we have to call him, or we have to shake him at least. So then that object could interrupt, that incoming object could interrupt the bhavanga stream and his mind processes starts to occur. And in the deep, therefore, in the deep sleep, it's not interrupted by any objects. It's in a different state. It's in a different state. And what happens is, now when the bhavangas are processing, since bhavanga is a resultant consciousness, it has some serenity in it. All the resultant consciousness are serene in one sense. Even it is produced by akusala chitta, even it is a production of an akusala, if it arises as akusala vipaka, unwholesome resultant, still as it is not mixed with any unwholesome mental factors, and also since it is been produced by the force of the past karma, these consciousnesses are serene in that sense. So whatever the chittaja rupas that are produced by these bhavangas, chittaja rupas, produced by these bhavangas are also serene. They are also serene. Then these chittaja rupas would eventually affect our material body, and then that would cause certain beneficial or some relevant changes in our body. That's why normally we feel fresh after a good sleep, good sound sleep. Then so that sleep time, during the sleep, the chittaja rupas that are happening in our body are really effective, and also they are needed to our body. That's why according to our tradition, one needs sleep. So at the same time, the bhavanga chitta, they themselves affect the body in terms of paccājāta paccaya. For instance, now if this is the body, if bhavanga chitta is happening based on the body, this also directly affects our body in terms of paccājāta paccaya, which we learn under 24 conditional forces. That is a direct mind to body relationship, mind body effect that is coming from mind to body. But here in this case, the mind is producing some chittaja rupas, and those chittaja rupas would eventually affect the entire body. So therefore during the sleep, during a deep sleep, there are two ways the body is affected: by the mind directly, or and also mind producing chittaja rupas, and eventually subsequently those chittaja rupas affecting our body. So we shall read the handout and get an idea first. During deep sleep, mind enters a state of bhavangas, referred to as nidda bhavanga chittas. In the previous handouts, I termed them as nidda bhavanga chittas to show that is a different level of bhavanga chittas. They are not the bhavanga chittas that are happening in between. So when the mind is in this deep state, at that time the bhavanga is said to be paribhinna. Paribhinna mano means even though an object strikes at our senses, this bhavanga would not lead to a mind process. It means the bhavanga would not be interrupted. The bhavanga flow will not stop and cause a mind process. The bhavanga will still continue. So when the bhavanga is in that inactive serene state, we are not having thoughts. Bhavanga itself has chetasika. That's a different case, which also has an object, but we are not having any distinct mind processes or chittas at that time. So the bhavanga is referred to as nidda bhavanga chittas. These consciousnesses bring calmness to the physical body. Weak chittaja rupas, which are incapable of changing or even maintaining posture, arise during this period. These chittaja rupas, as we have studied so far already, are not capable of maintaining a posture or also change in the gestures, change in the postures. Because there were three types of chittaja rupas. Some were capable, like the chittaja rupas produced by certain chittas are capable of changing the postures that were kept by that were placed by the previous chittas. And some chittaja rupas produced by certain chittas are not capable of changing the posture, but they are capable of maintaining the posture that was kept by the previous chittas. And the remaining chittas are produce chitta rupas that are neither capable of changing the posture nor capable of maintaining the postures. So the chitta rupas produced by bhavangas are in this caliber, in this category. They are not capable of maintaining the posture, nor they are capable of changing the posture. So they are very weak. But the serene nature of the bhavanga chitta, this serene nature already is found in the chitta rupa, because a very important fundamental in Theravada teachings is the nature of the hetu, the cause. Nature of the cause as affecting the nature of the phala. So this is what we even study in the doctrine of karma. Yadisang vapate bhijang tadisang harate palang. What we sow, we reap. What we reap is what we sow. If we sow mango seed, or if we sow rice seeds, we will be getting rice crops. If we sow sesame seeds, we will be getting sesame crop. Therefore, the cause and the effect has a huge correlationship. Even in the realm of karma and even the realm of cause and effect. But some causes are capable of producing different effects. For example, avidya would eventually cause the arising of wholesome activities, avidya paccaya kusala sankhara. But when something is happening as a direct result, like a karma vipaka, or it is a production of that, now avidya's supportiveness, avidya's support to the wholesome karmas is not very direct. It is becoming a very important fundamental cause for the arising of kusala karmas. Because if there is no avidya, the karmas would not have the capacity to give a result in future. And sometimes due to avidya, thinking or not seeing the true natures of the divine realms or human realm, people would have a wish to become one in the future and start doing merits. So likewise, there is a linear or different kinds of a causal relationship between avidya and wholesome deeds. But when it comes to the phenomenon of the cause is directly producing an effect, like the karma is producing a result or chitta is producing chitta rupas, in such cases the nature of the hetu greatly affect the nature of the phala. Even in the relationship between avidya and sankhara, this effect is still there, but it is very difficult to explain. The effects has to be explained in a subtle way. But when the cause is producing the result directly, at that time, obviously the natures of the cause can be seen or observed in the effects or the phala, the results. So therefore, the serene nature of the bhavanga chittas are greatly affecting or moduling the nature of the chitta rupas. Therefore, these chitta rupas would also be serene, and they would give much sort of a comfort or a recovering phase for the body That's why, according to our teachings, when we look into sleep, because it's obvious to all of us, sleep refreshes our body. So the reason behind is, one of the reasons are the mind is producing, the serene minds are producing serene chitta rupas, and they would eventually cause this positive effect upon the body. Weak chitta rupa, weak here doesn't mean that they are harmful to the body. They are not capable of maintaining a posture or changing the posture. That's why when a person falls asleep while sitting, his body normally collapses. Collapses means at least the head collapses. The body won't collapse because it's been held by different physical elements. But at least the body head would collapse. If he falls into a deeper sleep, he may fall down completely. So weak chitta rupas which are incapable of changing or even maintaining posture arise during this period. As bhavanga chittas and weak chitta rupas arise repeatedly, inactiveness and calmness manifest in the body. So the inactiveness arises in the body. If you remember in the previous lessons, the ninda, the sleep, was defined by one sub-commentator as the inactiveness in the body, inactiveness and calmness of the body, because it's not involved in any physical activities and it's not very active during the stage of sleep. It's calm and serene. It's calm and inactive during that period. So the inactiveness and the calmness of the body, it is found in the entire body, including the Uttuja Rupas, including all the other Rupas. And who brings this inactiveness? The mind is also responsible for this by affecting the body directly, as it happens here, and also it affects the body by producing Chittaja Rupas, which are serene. So the sereneness or the inactiveness, calmness spread all over the body, and as long as this inactiveness and calmness is found in the body, the being is said to be in sleep. Even during the dream, even while dreaming, we still have that inactiveness and calmness. Consequently, during this non-REM stage of sleep, no bodily movements occur, unlike the movements observed during the Kapininda stage. During the Kapininda stage, in the dream state, sometimes we may perform certain activities without being fully aware of it, because we know there are people who walk during sleep, and also we do change our postures during sleep, and sometimes we do hit others in dreams. So therefore, even though in the doctrine it is mentioned that during the dreaming state no bodily movements occur, there are ample of examples, and even within the literature, especially when the semen related to the first Sanghadisesa of monks, when the semen is being emitted during the while asleep, bodily movements do occur. So in the Kapininda state means the dreaming state. At that time, bodily movements do occur, but in the deep sleep level, no bodily movement happens. The nature of the cause directly influences the nature of the effect. Thus, the effects arising from different causes exhibit distinct attributes. So it's obvious that the nature of the cause is directly affecting the nature of the result. So distinct causes produce distinct or diverse results, right, effects. Thus, effects arising from different causes exhibit distinct attributes. When causes affect other realities, the resulting effect in the affected reality varies according to the nature of the causes. That is also another thing. Now, if an effect is producing, when an effect is producing a certain result, the nature of the effect, when a cause is producing a certain effect, the nature of the cause is directly affecting the nature of the result. In the same time, when a cause is, here we are talking about the production of a reality effect. Here, when the cause is affecting the reality in terms of supporting or reducing its strength or whatever, it's still affecting the effect as another reality. The effect gained by the other reality, the reality which is being supported or which is being affected, also the nature of this effect greatly depends on the nature of the cause. That's another thing. In the same, when a cause is producing an effect, the nature of the cause decides, or the nature of the effect is greatly determined by the nature of the causes. In the same way, when a certain cause affects another reality, the nature of that effect is also greatly depends on the nature of the cause. So that is a very basic fundamental in our tradition. So when causes affect other reality, the resulting effect in the affected reality varies according to the nature of the cause. This fundamental principle must be kept in mind when analyzing the influence of consciousness on the physical body. So we have to be very careful. We have to always keep this in mind when we are analyzing how the consciousness is affecting the physical body. But in terms of philosophy, the mind-body problem is there. How a non-material element is affecting the material body. That's a huge discussion. even we Buddhists are not capable of explaining this directly. One would say that the mind is producing material stuff and those material stuff are affecting the body, but still the question arises, how could a non-material reality produces material stuff? That's still the question remains there. So anyway, in our we take it as a fact in the Theravada tradition, which needs no further explanations, that the mind is capable of affecting the body, and also the body is capable of affecting the mind. The effect experienced by the body during meditative absorption is different from that felt during sleep. That's also because now when the person is in a meditative state or the person is sleeping, for instance, the mind in all the time the mind affects the body. It's not only while we are meditating or sleeping, even in day-to-day life, even in this moment, the mind is affecting the body. That's why when the mind changes, we can see obvious changes in our body. Some would say rather that those are the changes in the neurons, so we are feeling some physical effects in the body, but that obviously in the end eventually leads to determinism, because all the physical stuff that are happening in the world are determined, because according to the physical laws and the particles, we have to bring because they can be predicted unless it is in the quantum level, because beyond the quantum level, in the atomic level, things are predictable, and obviously they are predictable when you analyze them very deeply. And what happens is, if it is just a physical process going through, like C fiber fires and so forth, what would we will eventually lead to determinism. So since we don't want to accept a deterministic world, the only way to get out of determinism is about having a non-material causal agent who is capable of affecting the material stuff. So that is the only way. So Buddhism is in that category, because we believe in a determined world, and it's a non-deterministic view. So therefore, whenever a change occurs in our mind, that is felt by the body. And the theory is the nature of these chittas. Now, if we call this chitta as number 1, state 1 of chitta, and this sleeping chitta are number 2, chittas are number 2, the effect given to the body by these chittas are different. Chitta 1 gives one type of an effect, while chitta 2 gives a different type of an effect. What is the reason? The nature of the chitta is different. Here the chitta is number 2, here it's number 1. So number 1 and number 2 are different causes. When the causes are different, the effect is also different. Now in the meditative state, the nature of chitta is like normally the jhana chittas arise, like mahagata chittas, the highly with chittas with high concentration. In the sleeping level, bhavanga chittas arise. Therefore, the nature of chittas are different. And eventually their effect is also different. It is felt different to the body. The effect experienced by the body during meditative absorption is different from that felt during sleep. Appana chittas are the jhana chittas and the maggapala chittas, pramanding consciousness, arise in sachittaka samapatti, meditative absorption with consciousness, because there is a one meditative state in which the chitta stops, that is the nirodha samapatti. That's why we define this as, we name this as sachittaka samapatti. These chittas differ significantly from the bhavanga chittas. Therefore, the pachajata effect, or a causal support among 24 conditional supports of consciousness during a samapatti, is distinct from the pachajata effect of consciousness during sleep. So the effect of the mind to the body while sleeping is completely different, drastically different from the effect that is felt to the body while we are in a meditative absorption. Because the cause is the theory is the nature of the result is determined by the nature of the cause, and also the effects upon the effect upon the cause results, effect upon a certain reality by a certain cause also differs according to the nature of the cause, the nature of the effect and the nature of the result. So both effect here means what type of an influence it is making upon the other reality. So in a meditative state, a different effect is felt. In the sleeping stage, a different type of effect is felt. Likewise, the same way what happens is Chittadrupas arising during sleep differ from the mind-born matter arising in a Sachittaka Samapatti. Mind-born matter in a Sachittaka Samapatti can maintain bodily posture, whereas Chittadrupas arising during sleep cannot. In the same way, it's not only about the direct direct effect of the consciousness to the body. These chittas do produce chittadrupas, and these chittadrupas are also affecting the body. They are also affecting the body. Now the thing is, the nature of these chittadrupas. Now chittadrupas are affecting the body, and they are produced by a chitta, and their nature, the nature of these chittadrupas greatly depend on the nature of the chittas, and the nature of these chittadrupas change the effect they make, decides the effect they make to the body. In the same way, while asleep, chittadrupas do arise in our body. Chittadrupas do arise in our body, and the nature of those chittadrupas are determined by the nature of the consciousness, bhavanga chitta. And eventually, those chittadrupas would be affecting our body. So, since the nature of the chittadrupas are decided by the nature of the second chitta, the bhavanga chittas, and the nature of the effect of these chittadrupas to the body is decided based on the nature of these chittadrupas, the entire effect upon the body is different. So the effect of the body, effect upon the body in sleep is different from the effect upon the body while meditating. Moreover, since no consciousness arises during Nirodha Samapatti, the body does not receive. Another very important fact is these chittadrupas are capable of maintaining the bodily posture, while these chittadrupas cannot. So we can see a huge difference between the chittadrupas in a meditative state and the chittadrupas in the sleeping stage. So we can see a huge difference over there. And also it opens it clarifies, like it's obvious to all of us, if the chittadrupas are different, the effect of these chittadrupas would also be different. Then moreover, since no consciousness arises during Nirodha Samapatti, the body does not receive the Paccājāta Paccaya effect in this state. Because when there is no Samapatti, now if we talk about, when we talk about the Nirodha Samapatti, the person is sitting, for instance, but there is no chitta here. Chitta is absent. So these effects are not felt to the body, and there is no production of chittadrupas as well. So all the effects that are felt during a jhana state or during the sleep is not found while the person is in Nirodha Samapatti. Only karma is functioning here. Here, even in these two stages, the karma is still affecting our body, and the temperature, utu conditions like tejo dhatu is affecting the body. The external conditions are affecting our body. But in the Nirodha Samapatti level, no effect is found from the consciousness, from the sphere of the realm of consciousness that we possess. So because since the consciousness is absent at that time, therefore these effects are not felt during a Nirodha Samapatti. This is also a very important factor to consider. Moreover, since no consciousness arises during Nirodha Samapatti, the body does not receive the Paccājāta Paccaya effect in this state. Additionally, no mind-born matter is produced during Nirodha Samapatti, and thus the body is unaffected by chittadrupas. Therefore, the body exists in two distinct states, one during sleep and another while abiding in Nirodha Samapatti. So in the Nirodha Samapatti state and the sleeping stage are completely different. Also, the meditative absorption state and the sleeping state is different, and even the stages of the body while abiding in Nirodha Samapatti and while in a meditative state are also different. So there are three different stages of the body. So our attention is mainly towards the sleeping stage. The Tathagata who can enter any Satchittaka Samapatti or Nirodha Samapatti at will sleeps during the late watch of night without entering into any of the Samapattis. Buddha could have entered into any of these Samapattis at his will, but at every night he used to sleep for around 1 hour and 20 minutes. So it shows that even though he could have easily chosen to enter into any of these samapattis, any of these attainments, he chose to sleep. The reason seems to be the effect of the sleep to the body is different from the effect of the meditative consciousness and states to the body. The effect while the body, the state where the body is in, while in Nirodha Samapatti, and the state in which the body is in during meditation are different. The Tathagata who can enter any Sachittaka Samapatti or Nirodha Samapatti at will sleeps during the late watch of the night without entering into any Samapatti. This reason for this might be the differing effects experienced by the body during Samapattis and while asleep. May be the reason. According to medical science, various beneficial biological processes occur in the body during sleep. The inactive state of body during sleep may facilitate these positive processes. Therefore, sleep is essential for human beings. We need there are some biological helpful processes occurring or happening while we are asleep. We know that according to medical science. And if we look this from the Theravada perspective, it seems to be, it could be that these, because when we are in a sleep, the body goes into an inactive calm state. Maybe this calmness and inactiveness facilitates those biological processes. We can assume that. That's a mixing of the fundamentals with the scientific information that we have, because it's obvious there are some processes taking place while we are asleep. Those processes normally do not take place, as far as I know, while we are awake, or those processes are not very much active or happening if we happen to be awake during those stages. So that's why some doctors normally say at night, a healthy person, to maintain health, you have to have a sound sleep, a phase of sleep. And when we look into this from the Theravada perspective, because there is a huge change in the body, inactiveness and the calmness in the body while we are asleep, maybe these two qualities, inactiveness and the calmness, are contributing to these biological process. They are acting as a base, maybe, upon which the biological processes are happening. So maybe it's a very vital condition for that. Then it is evident to everyone that body becomes calm during sleep. This calmness is experienced as a feeling of refreshment after a good sound sleep. It's obvious to all of us. If we had a good sound sleep, we feel fresh after waking up. The level of calmness achieved during sleep can depend on several factors. Another thing, the calmness that we experience or the body receives during a sleep can be decided on various factors. So we can track down 3 factors, 3 reasons why which varies the calmness of the body during a sleep. The state of mind immediately before sleep, that is also obviously felt to us, and anyone can have that experience. If we go into sleep with a peaceful, calm mind after some meditation, we will be able to experience a better sleep than going into sleep with unwholesome thoughts. Because just before the sleep, how the mind was just before the sleep greatly affects our quality of the sleep, and also the dreams that we would see. Therefore, the immediate status of the mind immediately before the sleep. The state of the mind immediately before the sleep has a huge impact on the quality of our sleep. It is observed that the freshness felt after sleep is greater when the individual enters sleep without a wholesome mindset. Conversely, the body feels refreshed when the individual falls asleep with body feels less refreshed when the individual falls asleep with an unwholesome mindset. Then the state of mind while awake, the day-to-day life, what sort of mindset that we had. This has been expounded by the Buddha in few sutras. He has said, if you want to have a good sleep, you better meditate. A person who has earned jhanas in loving kindness meditation, one of the benefits that the person would experience is a sound sleep. Sukhang supati. He will be able to sleep well. Sukham pati bujjati. He would wake up afresh. Then napapakan supinam passati. He will not see any bad dreams. If he happens to see a dream, if he or she happens to see a dream, that would be a very pleasant one. Therefore, the mindset that we maintain throughout our day-to-day activities are greatly affecting the quality of our sleep. That's also something that can be verified within the tradition. The nature of the mind also influences the quality of sleep. During stressful times, achieving quality sleep is challenging. It's also obvious when we are thinking too much, when we are depressed, or when we are affected by great sorrow, we are unable to get a sound, good sleep, and even our sleep could be interrupted in between without we being not aware of it. That does happen. If we go to a sleep test, the things would reveal that the sleep is being interrupted frequently. That time, if it is highly interrupted, the doctors would question us, asking whether you have any thought issues, or are you worrying about something these days, and so forth, because it depicts, it reflects, actually the quality of sleep reflects our status of mind during day-to-day time. That's why the Buddha said a person who has achieved the absorption levels in metta meditation, loving kindness, would have a sound sleep as a beneficial result. The nature of the mind also influences the quality of sleep. During stressful times, achieving quality sleep is challenging. In contrast, when the mind is in a general positive state, obtaining deep, restful sleep becomes easier. The Tathagata explained that a person who possesses metta jhanas sleeps well, wakes up refreshed, and does not experience nightmares. The commentary on the sutta adds that the person with metta jhana sleeps as if in a samapatti and wakes up like a blooming flower. So a person who has a jhana, when he sleeps, it is as if he has entered into a samapatti, because he doesn't roll here and there, less bodily movements. So he remains in the sleeping posture like a statue. And when he wakes up, he suddenly wakes up very refreshed, and he doesn't feel any discomfort because normally this phrase we experience while we wake up, the waking up phrase is something difficult for most of us. If you had when we are come in the early morning, sometimes we struggle to come into the awakened stage quickly. We tend to go back to sleep, and we prefer to go back to sleep. But a person who has jhanas would normally wakes up very fresh, like a blooming flower, and it happens immediately. Like he suddenly wakes up when the sleep is enough to his body, and he would not feel like continuing the sleep as well. Then physical health, when the body is unwell, achieving quality sleep becomes difficult. That is also observable, obvious to all of us. When the body's health has deteriorated, and also it's not in a good stage, it's difficult to have sound sleep. Yeah, so this is my lecture today. Chittadurupas arising during deep sleep. If we recap what we have done so far, Chittadurupas do arise while we are asleep, and the Bhavanga Chittas are in a deep state during the deep sleep. And the effect of the Bhavanga Chittas to the body is different from the effect of the meditative absorptions while we are in a samapatti. And also these Bhavanga Chittas do produce Chittadurupas which are weaker and they are not capable of even maintaining the bodily posture, and their effect to the body is also different from the effect given by Chitta Rupas to the body while we are in a meditative absorption. Then the inactiveness and the calmness, these Chitta Rupas and the mind itself brings inactiveness and calmness to the body, which is the most significant factor or the element in sleep. So, sleep is defined based on this calmness and inactiveness of the body. As long as the inactiveness has not gone away, the person is still said to be in sleep. And even that's even valid for the dreaming stage, because as Vajrabuddhi has stated, one sub-commentary, as long as the sleep, the inactiveness is still there, the person cannot be said to have waken up. Right, so that is it's an important fundamental in our tradition. Then the effects to the body during a meditative state and during the sleep are obviously conspicuously different. It may be the reason why Buddha, who had the mastery of all the samapattis, slept at night rather than enter into samapattis. And then also we can assume that the benign or beneficial biological processes that are happening in our body are facilitated by this inactive nature of the body, which is caused by these Chitta Rupas. So, Chitta Rupas seems to have a positive effect in our body while we are asleep. It is evident to everyone that body becomes calm during sleep, and calmness is experienced, and also this calmness is experienced after aftermaths of sleep. After you wake up also you can feel that, and the calmness achieved during sleep depends on various factors: the mindset immediately before entering into the sleep, and the mindset that we maintain in day-to-day lives, and also physical health. So these are the important points that I would like to discuss today. Next week I'll be continuing the lectures every week, and I'll try my best to be consistent this time. So hopefully we'll be able to at least do 10-12 lectures for this semester. Next week I am going to discuss bodily and physical actions and mind-born matter. This is a very important factor, how the mind-born matter is related to our karmas, our deeds. Then how this mind-born matter is related to the wrong view of a doer, karaka ditti. Then how would we scrutinize this phenomenon and try to understand how the aggregates are working without a self, and also that would help us to gain more shed light upon the doctrine of non-selfness as well. So today I end up the lecture. I'll give the forum for the questions.
Good morning, and may the blessings of Refulgence be with you. My question is, Venerable Sir, you mentioned about the daily routine of Lord Buddha. It's correct to say that sleep would have been adequate for him to recover from whatever the wear and tear of his body during the day. And that's maybe the reason why he did not go into Samapatti and only decided to take a rest during the last, because some people, some suttas doesn't even say that he has slept, but it says Jagariyanu Yoga. So that is, he had been maintaining Sati and Sampajanya even while lying on Singha Seiya, that is lion's posture. So my question is actually, if you look at Mahaparinibbana Sutta, especially when you go into that the section on Bedua, the village experience, by the time he reached Bedua village, he was extremely weak. His body was extremely weak, and Venerable Ananda says that he was very worried that he will
pass away.
He will pass away. He will pass away without
admonishing the silent.
Summon people. So therefore, when Venerable Ananda noticed that Lord Buddha had recovered quite well, and he was looking much better and strong, when he questioned, Lord Buddha says, my body was like a Jajjara Sakatam and Velu Missakam. So he's, what he means is it's a very old cart which is giving a lot of problems, and it had been revived by using whatever the repairs that were possible for such a cart. And then he further explains what he meant by that is actually animita samadhi. So it is obviously the phala samapatti, which he had been going into from time to time. And that recovery is much more than what the sleep can give, because actually the fatal illness or the life-ending illness he was suffering from, even with that he got some recovery, it seems. So that is the point which I wanted to highlight here, and wanted to get your comments on that, sir. Thank you.
So that samapatti which he entered in while he was in Belua is called Jivita Sankara Tapana Pala Samapatti, which is a very significant type of attainment of fruition. Normally the ordinary beings, like even the Buddha, goes into the ordinary Pala Samapatti just practicing Vipassana. But if he wants to strengthen his body further and to maintain better health and to recover the body as he did, they have to do the Jivita Sankara Tapana Pala Samapatti. The difference is during the Vipassana stage or the Vipassana phase, the person yogi has to contemplate the Rūpa Saptaka and Arūpa Saptaka method, like do the contemplation of mind and matter in 7 ways, each in 7 ways. So that is the significance of this Pala Samapatti. And the commentary says it gave him the strength to last for a few months actually. And yes, obviously these samapattis have a great effect on the body. That's why I didn't go to compare and say which one is more beneficial or which one is more effective, because of these stories. So in my personal opinion, samapattis can repair and do a recovery in the body, because if the person wishes to, because he also said if a person who has mastered the Iddhipadas will be able to maintain, will be able to live longer even than the normal lifespan of a human being. In order to do that, he has to repeatedly go into these kind of absorptions and to uphold his strength, because his body cannot sustain by itself, because the person is old. So it's only can be done with the help of the mind, because the mind can refresh the body and also strengthen the body and allows it, like gives the opportunity for it to survive. Therefore, in terms of like getting a full recovery or strengthening the body, samapattis are useful. You cannot achieve that by sleeping. But sleeping, I feel like it's a daily basis refreshment the body needs in long term, so that it could last function healthily. It's obvious that the effects are different. They cannot be compared actually. But in the lecture, I didn't want to establish the fact that the sleep is more beneficial than the samapatti. My opinion is they have two different effects and they are beneficial in two different ways actually. Therefore, a person who has mastered the Iddhipadas, we call them the reasons of achievements, I forgot the actual translation. Only a person who has developed Iddhipada will be able to lengthen his life beyond the ordinary lifespan. And this cannot be done by sleeping a lot. For that, he has to enter into samapattis regularly or frequently. And then, but at the same time, in daily basis, the body needs some refreshments to repair the hardships that it underwent during the daytime. And that can be done with sleep. But some arahants have chosen to enter into samapattis rather than sleeping. Mahakassapa and so forth, they didn't sleep, they didn't lie down. I don't think they slept sitting even. So they were always entering into samapattis. Still they could live for a long time. So, and their bodies would have been different, like very strong and healthy. Everyone cannot do that. And so therefore, but obviously when you look in the causality, the effects upon the body have to be different in two different states of meditation, meditative absorption and while asleep. Therefore, yeah, so I think they are two different, they perform two different functions.
Thank you very much. I think you cleared all the points that needed clearance. And it's very clear that people like us who are over 65 are asked to sleep at least 7 hours a day to revive our bodies. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
May the Triple Gems bless you.
Venerable, I would like to ask you, how is the body posture being maintained during Nirodha Samapatti?
Yeah, that's another good question. How the body posture is maintained during Samapatti if there are no Chitta Rupas. I haven't also thought about it much. If I give my opinion on this, because Nirodha Samapatti is a very special attainment where even your body cannot get harmed while abiding in it, and it cannot be burned, actually no one can move it even. So it's very, the person would be very safe while he is in the Nirodha Samapatti. It has to be, because otherwise any danger can fall upon him, because there's no way that you can wake him up unless, to few reasons, like unless he wakes up after the period that he has determined, and on two special occasions when the Sangha has summoned him or the Buddha has summoned him, and on those two occasions he would naturally wake up from the Samapatti. Then I think that is mainly because of the glory of this attainment. This attainment is an outcome of the Neva Sanya, Na Sanyayatana Jhana. There's no special Samapatti called Nirodha Samapatti. Nirodha Samapatti is the one state of the Neva Sanya, Na Sanyayatana Jhana. Because in the Neva Sanya, Na Sanyayatana, the highest Arupavachara Jhana, while someone is in that Samapatti, the Chitta continues to occur in a lineage, like a mind process. And due to the preliminary meditation that he has done prior to entering the Samapatti, with that power of both concentration and insight meditations, like tranquility and insight meditations, because he has to enter into each jhana and do and practice insight meditation upon those jhanas. You enter the jhana, you come out of it and see them as impermanent, suffering and non-self, and you have to repeat this till the third Arupavachara jhana. And then when he enters into the fourth Arupavachara jhana, that immaterial absorption of the Neva Sanya, Na Sanyayatana, unlike on other occasions, the mind stream doesn't continue, it stops after two mind moments. Some occasions even one mind moment. It stops. Then there is a time period where chitta doesn't occur, and finally a pala chitta, whether it's depending on the person's status, either is anagami or arahanta pala chitta, would occur once, and then the mind stream falls back to the bhavanga. So this Nirodha Samapatti is a continuation of the Neva Sanya, Na Sanyayatana jhana actually. Only thing is the jhana chitta is not occurring there while we are in that Samapatti. So my personal opinion is these bodily postures are maintained by its glory or its splendor or its capacity, because that Nirodha Samapatti is a safe haven to anyone, because no one can kill the person while he is in the Samapatti. Unless his lifespan has expired, if he has not done the contemplation properly, he would wake up from the Samapatti and suddenly dies. I think that should be the reason. I haven't thought about it, and I haven't gone through that in a book actually. I don't remember actually. So it's a valid question. So how, if there is no Chitta Rupas, how could the posture be maintained in a Nirodha Samapatti? In my opinion, That should be the reason, like because of its splendor, because of its greatness, it has the capacity to maintain that. Because even you cannot even push a person down while he is in the nirodha. You cannot even harm that person.
Arising from the current discussion, another question came into my mind. Actually, is it correct to consider the person observing Nirodha Samapatti, his body is becoming almost like a dead body? Because the dead body doesn't have a consciousness or vijnana associated with it. So still the position in which the person died remains as it is until the rotting of the body starts. So, so the posture maintenance automatically happens that way without a involvement of a consciousness or a mind. So in the situation of Nirodha Samapatti also, once the mind processes stops, from that point onwards, whatever the bodily position that was maintained at that moment will continue until the Phala Samapatti Chitta starts at the end of the 7 days or the period of Nirodha Samapatti. Is it correct to take it like that? That's my question.
Because in a dead body cannot maintain the postures. It will remain on the floor. But if someone dies standing, he will fall down. But if someone attains Nirodha Samapatti standing, he will remain standing. Even while sitting, in a dead body, the head will fall down and the limbs will collapse. Though he will, if he is leaning onto something, then he will remain seated. But there is a collapse of the body. In Nirodha Samapatti, that collapse doesn't happen. He will remain as in a still position, upright. And then the difference, because this has been discussed in the Mahavedala Sutta, what is the difference between a dead body and a Nirodha Samapatti person? Because from the outer look, both are unconscious and both are not reacting to any of the stimuli of the environment. The difference lies because they don't have mind, they don't have chitta rupas, and they don't even breathe. And the difference lies on the jivitindriya. The jivitindriya is found in the karma is acting, and jivitindriya, the life faculty, is found in the Nirodha Samapatti person, while the dead body, in a dead body, those are absent. Then the next thing is posture maintenance is quite different. Because a person who has entered Nirodha Samapatti standing would remain standing, while a person who dies standing would eventually collapse.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Everyone's
okay, I think the questions are done. So we will.
Thank you so much for your lecture today. So actually the part about the metta, the 11 benefits of metta, the first 4 benefits also happen when the people are in like upatissa sati. So how can you explain that?
People are in what sati?
Like a strong, there is in the Upatitta Sati Sutta, the first 4 benefits also happen with those persons.
Upattita sati.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So like, so is that for the Janavadi also?
I have to check it. I have to check it in the sutta to whom the Buddha referred with the word Upattita sati. Seems to be a person with good concentration and mindfulness. I have to check what the tradition says on this. Surely a jhana person who has jhana is Upattita sati person, and also a person who is doing vipassana is Upattita sati person. I have to check and see what to whom it refers to. But from the very outlook, it seems like a person who has good meditation experience and development in spirituality. That is a person who is referred normally as Upattita sati.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, then we'll conclude the lecture, and next week on Friday we are going to talk a very interesting topic, the relation between bodily and verbal actions, kamma and chittaja rupa. And with this merit of discussing Dhamma, may all of us be able to understand Dhamma deeply and also finally attain our final aspirations. May this also help for the longevity of the Sasana. Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.